Hello and welcome back to BlackRose Readings. Today is an upload video of a new book since the last one got discontinued. But if you haven't seen my last video, please go do so now. It is important. So yeah. The book we're reading today is called Walls. It's an Ash Landers romance fanfiction of Black Butler by an author called PurifiedAngel on Wattpad. So basically, as the author puts it, Her Majesty decides for some reason to send Ash out of the country. And while he's out, he discovers his newly found love. Alright, so let's get started, I guess. The dark room was filled with light as someone had opened her curtains, allowing the sunlight to cast its rays upon the room. The condensation slid down the glass panes, forming a small puddle on the windowsill. It would be clean later on in the day. The sound of a soft, angelic voice caused her eyes to strain as they opened. After a few moments, they had adjusted to the light, which allowed her to see the culprit who woke her. There he stood, arms stretched out as he held onto the curtains, back towards her as he stared out the window. His stance was almost representing a cross as he brought the light in. Such a holy image represented by purity. This was shown more by the white clothing he wore and his white, slightly curled locks. He turned his amethyst gaze, meeting hers, her blue one. "Good morning, ma'am." Flashback. "I want him." She looked at the new servant that had walked through the doors moments ago. "Leah, you can't just say that. It must be discussed first." Her father, John, spoke his thoughts to his eldest child of 3. "I think it's fair. You all have a butler and maid. I only have a maid. Samuel and Daniel have them, so why can't I?" He rubbed and stubbled on his chin as he thought for a few moments. A sigh had passed his lips. "I'll think about it." Flashback over. She now sat up and ran her fingers through her blonde, medium, and slightly curly hair, while he placed a mug of warm tea on her bedside table. Once doing that, he faced the Pomeranian named Pippin that had attempted to portray slightly aggressive characteristics as he playfully growled, snapped, and pawed at the tall man. All these actions caused a small smile to form upon Ash's face before a small chuckle passed his lips. He knelt down beside the bed and held out his black-gloved hand, causing the pup to immediately start wagging its tail and nuzzling up into his hand. The lady sat there with a smile on her face as she spectated a rather adorable sight that played out in front of her. What is it that I'm needed to do today, Ash?" Well, ma'am, you only have 2 things to do today: music lessons with Miss Delton and German lessons with Mr. Brandt." Wishless speaking, he would often glance at her while keeping Pippin entertained by stroking him. The last thing on her schedule caused a sigh to pass her lips. She knew she had to learn since she was living in Germany, but she had always found the lessons to drag. She liked her tutor. He was always patient and aided her when she was struggling, but she disliked the subject. Later on that day, the Murphy family sat around the table in the dining room. Head of the household, John, his wife, Marion, eldest child, Leah, eldest son, Samuel, and Daniel. The topic discussion like most nights, was marriage and how Sam was engaged and getting married before Leah. So, do men even like you? Daniel spoke up before one corner of his lips curled up to form a smirk. Yes, I get compliments. Something about her sentence caused Samuel to burst out into hysterical laughter, following her brother, Daniel. Boys, that is disrespectful. The horrified mother of the three raised her voice at her sons. It may have been laughter towards the sister, but she was still against it. The blonde-haired girl couldn't help but let a small laugh escape her. Well, it's good that I don't take most things to heart. Alright. So that was the end of that chapter, and whatnot. Sorry for the stuttering. The spelling in this is decent. There are a few words here and there that are misspelled, but that's okay. So don't forget to comment in my last video whether or not I should do a live stream. And I'll do a continuation of this story, obviously. There's only 12 parts, I believe. I think so, yeah. There's only 12 parts. So, depending on the chapter size, I might do 11 to 12 parts. Alright, that's all. Stay fresh, my little roses.